And just a reminder for you all that it'll be recording. So we're all used to that by now. So welcome. I'm super, super, super excited for this season. I'm totally honored to be doing this again this year with the WPL. And it's been a very good relationship with Milla, the match commissioner, again this year. So really excited about the opportunities for everybody. These are all of our wonderful referees. We have not made an announcement to the general public yet, but that will be coming. I will ask you to just hold off on letting people know because if you remember, there was an application that went out and then they pulled it back and then another application went out. So I think there's 2 or 3 people that Rian needs to let me know I need to notify from that original application. I don't have those people's names, but I did want people to know that they weren't selected, and I am letting everybody know that. So the majority of people do know if they weren't selected. Yeah, so that's that. Mostly a lot of the same faces, so we're going to go through things kind of quickly. If you are new to the team, just stop me and ask questions. You can unmute yourself. You can also ask questions via the chat feature. And if you chat to everyone, then someone from the group can answer it. And then it doesn't bother me or what I'm doing. I'll probably won't look at it because someone else can answer you. Yeah, so those are our referees. Congratulations. Super excited. Super excited. Oh, and we have Julianne Zussman from Canada, in case anybody hasn't met her yet or doesn't recognize her. That's her down there with the scrum picture. So she's joining us this year, doing a little international relationing. So exciting. These are our coaches. We've got Olivia Nye, Wendy Young, Lee Johnson, Greg Gilliam, and Rosalind Anderson. Each of the coaches is going to work with 2 referees this season. So it will be a lot of work. The coaches will probably be working once every week for the 10 weeks nearly, some of them. So it's going to be a lot. And this year we're welcoming performance reviewers to our group. We've got Bob Hausler, Peter Watson, and David Haynes taking that role on. Let's see. That's about it. These are the coaching matchups. I hadn't released these to the refs. So if you guys wanted to take a look at that, this is who you're paired with. So Richard's group, all of them, they're going to work with different coaches on every game. And I felt like part of our philosophy with the WPL is really building relationships, and that the coach relationship is one that should last for the full time period. I don't know. Does anybody have any thoughts about that?
I think it's a very wise decision.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so we're going to be doing it a little bit differently, and then the other groups will, just so you're aware of that. And I guess we'll decide at the end whether we like it better or we do it differently next year. So that's where I am with it. This is the boring stuff, but let's truck through it. Travel and logistics. Flights are being done in Next Travel. You guys all got the invitation, and we're already booking flights. We're going to book through week 5. Once everybody has accepted all of their assignments in Who's the Ref, which is our online system, then we will go ahead and book flights out for the last 5 weeks. Ground transportation is the responsibility of the team, the home team that you are traveling to. There is a contact person that you're supposed to just shoot them an email, let them know your flight times. Someone from the team is supposed to pick you up and bring you back to either your hotel or or the airport, whichever. Accommodations. This year we actually have some hotel budget. It's the first time ever. So I was asking that if you're traveling to a place where you have a friend that you can stay with, do that to keep the league expenses down. Because once we've used up our hotel budget, we will have to go back to staying with the team. And that's just, it's awkward. That's been the feedback from everybody, is they just don't really like that. It's not comfortable. So
Especially after the game.
What? Who's talking?
Especially the night after the game.
Oh, yeah. That's when it can get sticky. Assistant referees are supposed to be assigned by the local referee society. It is up to the home team to arrange that with the local ref society. I haven't yet had the meeting with the teams. That'll be on August 11th to just make sure that all goes smoothly. But I would like each of you to think about putting together just a brief PowerPoint or whatever you need to go over with the assistant refs who are assigned. It doesn't need to be, complex, but just give them a basic rundown of what kind of assistance you require. Technical zones are supposed to be in place for all matches in the WPL. Film and audio, everybody will be filming. It might be in your best interest to travel with your laptop and try to get the film the day of. It's up to you. I think it would be a very good idea if we tried to get audio on all of the video this year. If that means that you have a set of radios and you link those up. You can also use a voice recorder. I personally have no idea how to do it, but Chris O'Malley does it all the time. He uses his voice recorder and then links it somehow with the video. So we can figure that out. If he can do it, I bet we can do it. All right, payment will again be through the WPL by PayPal. That's right. So I hear you guys cheering in the background because it means you'll get your match fee the week after the match. So make sure that I have your PayPal email address that's linked to your PayPal. Coaches and PRs. Unfortunately, you are not going to be paid by PayPal. Your money is coming from USA Rugby. Hopefully we'll have that by the end of the season. I will go ahead and start that process with them, so maybe it'll be sooner rather than later. Finals is going to be on 10/31. It will be in Glendale. We are trying to negotiate with USA Rugby to have our entire crew of referees there. So if you can, hold that date open. I will let you know if for some reason that's not going to come through, but it sounds pretty positive right now. If you're not available 10/31 already, like you just know Halloween's a really special day to you and you can't travel, let me know. D1 Elite.
Amanda?
Yes.
Is there any thought about having a couple of the coaches at the final?
Yes. So I made that request. I seriously doubt they're going to have the budget to cover it. But if you or your society wanted to pay for you to come out there, yeah, I would absolutely love to have you there.
I'm just thinking, not so much performance reviewers, but the coaches. It would be good if you got all the referees out there. It's just kind of a final way to go over things and try to reinforce what the coaches are working on during the season.
I mean, I think it would be great. Absolutely. So, D1 Elite, they are supposed to be giving us a schedule, and our referees and our coaching staff and our group will cover the D1 Elite matches concurrently with the WPL matches. I haven't seen anything from them yet. I've asked multiple times and it doesn't exist yet. So we don't know what that would look like, but it's only 8 matches. So that's that. And then who's the ref? Everybody, please. I know the assignments only got released yesterday, but I already got a text message that we need to accept the assignments. So if you get a chance, log into Who's the Ref or check your email and click the buttons for Rion. Okay. That's about
Amanda,
it. Yes.
The finals, the 10/31, is it a Thursday, Saturday finals? Or...
So we would travel in on 10/31.
Okay.
First day of matches would be Friday. The D1 Elite final will be Saturday. And then on Sunday would be the wrap-up of the WPL. I don't know yet if we would travel home Sunday evening like we did last year or if we would go until Monday morning. It just depends on what USA Rugby comes back and says the budget is. So, any other questions about travel and logistics? Anything I forgot to cover?
Where is the finals, Amanda?
Glendale.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay, cool. Moving on. Weekly
Amanda,
schedule. Yes.
The D1 Elite, is that only going to be WPL referees, or do you have some other people you're going to pull in for those games as well?
So some of our WPL refs are doing less matches than others. My ultimate goal is to get everybody 5 matches over the 10 weeks. So people who have 4 matches would do 1 D1 Elite match. And it's all going to depend on what the budget looks like, and how much we're going to be able to fly people and whatnot, none of which do I know yet. So yeah, if it works the way I would like it to work, everybody's going to have 5 matches spread between WPL and D1 Elite. That answer you?
Not really.
So ideally, no, I will not be pulling anyone else in.
That was the question.
Yes, but if I have to, I will, because we already have a week with the WPL where we don't have a spare ref.
Considerations you're going to have to.
Yeah. Yep, I probably will. So we'll see, and hopefully everyone won't be scheduled up with everything else by the time D1 Elite gets us our schedules. So if it happens, it happens. The weekly schedule is really tight. So I just want everyone to know, like, I understand that we are asking a lot of every single person on this team. I'm 100% empathetic to that. It's no joke. So the one thing that I would ask of everyone, self-care is super important. So if you're overwhelmed, overtired, sick, whatever it is, just communicate that to me. Let me know what you need so that we can get you the rest that you need so that you can perform. Yeah, and especially if you're traveling, let us know what's going on. I'm not going to go over the schedule because it's a lot to read. You will notice there, Thursday, Friday, down at the very bottom, match prep in Advantage. I know we had talked a lot about using AMS, and the final decision is to go with Advantage. So.
Yay!
Yay!
Go ahead. AMS, yes, is World Rugby's system. Referees and PRs, you may have gotten invitations today to join AMS.
Yep.
Yep. So that's, yeah, it's nice to be able to go in there and poke around and see what everybody else is doing. We are not going to be using it for our development purposes, but World Rugby will be putting our matches in there. And if for some reason, like Amelia, it might be important for you to get stuff in AMS, if we decide that, we can put things in there, you know, PRs or whatnot.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, are the videos going to be uploaded into Advantage, or do we have to do that?
I will be handling all of the uploading in Advantage.
Okay.
And I'll just take this minute to say, if anybody else has fantastic Wi-Fi and spare time and they want to help with the uploading process, it's a lot, especially in the short period of time that we have to do it. So
Thank you for that.
Yes, thank you.
yeah, well, you're welcome. Gosh, anything for referee development. The other thing the WPL has asked for this year is actually they want to just give the games to one central place. Like currently they send the games to us and they are also responsible for uploading it to YouTube. So I think it's going to be coming to me, and then I'm going to be uploading to Advantage and then also uploading to YouTube. So I don't know what that's going to look like.
Which version of Advantage, Amanda?
The new version of Advantage, which is supposed to come out before WPL starts.
Okay.
Yes. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know what it's going to look like, but it's going to be similar enough that I don't think that there's going to be a massive learning curve.
Where would you like Steve and I to put our games from this weekend?
Well, there's really nowhere to put it in Advantage at the moment. If you
No
want...
worries. I did amazing. No need to.
Yeah, I mean, it's really up to you if you want to break those down or if you just want to take the time off. I don't have a preference. It's really up to you and what works for you and your coach. So I'll leave it there. Sure. Let's see. Okay. Right. So our roles this year are going to be different because we have a new dynamic, adding the PRs. The way that it sort of looks in my mind is the coaches are going to be helping support and guide the referees. And part of that is not telling them how to referee, but rather the help with the self-discovery process. I would see the coaches probably assisting with deliberate practice planning, providing support and game breakdown, pre-match prep. Probably a coach is going to focus on different aspects of the referee's performance than the actual performance review is going to. Performance review is going to be more black and white. So with the coaching, you're going to look more at the IPP and the game plan in relation to the referee's performance. So we're going to be trial and error, and we're just going to have a laissez-faire attitude and try to see what works best for us. It's a big experiment. It's exciting. PRs, speaking of performance reviews, everyone will get one in the first 3 weeks, and we'll have one in the last 3 weeks of the competition as well. So we'll sort of get a snapshot at the beginning and a snapshot at the end. Don't stress out about the one that's happening at the beginning. Obviously, the schedule is already laid out. Nothing that comes back on that first PR from a grade perspective is going to impact anything about the season. We will be making the selections for finals. The PRs will help me with that at the end of the season for who gets which matches and how that's going to look. And that will be based on your coaching and your arc over time with the league, development-wise. And then the final role in our group is me as a manager. I'm here to support everybody. Don't be shy. Just call me. I'm available all the time, strange hours. It's fine. So when you think of something, just text it to me. And don't worry about what time of day it is. It's not going to bother anybody in my house. So it's great. I will try to check in with people as much as I can. It does get tough with a group of this size. So call me when you need me. Any questions about that?
Amanda, your Thursday has you giving feedback with teams and stuff. Does that come back to us in terms of either, things to improve on or things that they had concerns with, or is the dialogue with the teams about issues, is that just between them and us, or how's that being handled?
Yeah, so mostly with the WPL in the past, the dialogue has been between me and the team coaches. I do know in some levels of the MLR, the team coaches speak directly to the referees. As far as I know, that's not really happening in the WPL. Most everything's being fed through me. Thursday is really about me taking the stuff that we talked about Wednesday and my observations throughout the week from all the games that I watched in the WPL. And then I send an email to all the coaches, and it's just basically like the email that you guys get from me, but it's slanted to their point of view. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing one of those, I'm more than happy to CC you on it. It's not that exciting. Any other questions? Cool. What's next? Okay. IPP, game plan, and the deliberate practice is all going to equal motivation. It's going to be these pillars to provide structure to our development over the next 10 weeks. These are sort of some positives that I think we'll see. I'm kind of excited actually about the structure. I think for someone who just kind of flies by the seat of their pants a lot, this level of structure is kind of daunting, but also I can see it can be really beneficial for somebody. So it'll be fun. Another thing about the calls this year is I'm going to try to keep them brief. We ran about an hour and often an hour and 10 minutes last year, which is great because we have great conversation. But I think we should try to dial it back because there's so much stuff you guys are doing outside of those calls. So one of the ways we're going to do that is what the referees share on the calls. I would like to make that a lot more focused because we can easily spend 15 or 20 minutes just rambling about our games, which is great, but that's the role of your coach, the way that I see it. You should be having that conversation with your coach. And then the conversation that we want to have with the larger group is about things that impact the larger group. So I would expect maybe, Haley, if you did a match, that you would come back and tell us, like, gosh, the New York scrum half was in my ear the whole time, or, the flanker can't stay bound to the scrum, or, hey, I did this really awesome deliberate practice this week and it helped me so much in the game.
Okay.
So does anybody sort of have thoughts about that?
Yeah, hey, I mean, I think that the development's done, with coaches, and I think we can all kind of talk about successes, and I think we all learn together with failures. But I think, to keep it concise and brief, we do the learning, on our own, and then any extra stuff that we want to do, we take that upon ourselves. But I think all of our time is valuable.
Cool. Speaking of valuable time, the other idea I had was we can spend a lot of time on a call debating what would you call it? A contentious clip. It's 50-50, and we can spend a lot of time talking about it. And I do think there's benefit to that. But I also think if we look in Advantage and we use the polling features and the board that exists there, we can that'll save us 10 or 15 minutes on a call because we can do it on our own time from the computer. So those are two things we will probably try going into this season. If we hate it, we'll change it. So, and that's the other thing, like, this program belongs to you guys. So it's not my baby, right? So if we want to change something, feel free to give me the feedback. And if you have a great idea, we'll run with it. So let's see, development. All right. Hopefully everybody has an IPP already. Some people may not, but I feel like probably everybody does. So dust it off, get the final draft to me by 8:14. That would be great. If for some reason you can't, just let me know. I get it. We all have lives. Your IPP should contain current reality, what success looks like, 2 to 3 key focus areas. I think we're all familiar with this, so I'm just not going to really yak about it too much unless somebody feels like we need to. Cool. The one thing that I did want to say is if part of what you would like to do development-wise is lead one of these meetings or be the person who watches all 4 matches and tries to look for trends across the game. If you want to do that, give that a shot one week. I'm more than happy to give up that control of that role. So feel free to let me know. All right, deliberate practice is the new piece that we're formalizing for this year. I think there's going to be a lot more talk about deliberate practice and what it is. But one thing that I'm super confident of with this group is you guys are already doing this stuff, right? We're all doing this stuff. We just don't think about it that way, and we don't necessarily have the structure around it. So I think that's one of the good things the program's going to try and give to us. So culture. So this is just my idea of what the culture of our group is and what it is for me and what I strive to make this space for all of you. So I do want it to be a place where people feel safe speaking, where nobody talks over one another, where everybody has the time and opportunity for their voice to be heard and to be heard fairly. So cool. With that said, let's go here. Get back out your phones. If you were asleep, wake up. Go back to menti.com, use the group code, and tell me what 3 words describe the WPL group to you. Oh, growth mindset was a good one. Oh, what good words, you guys. That's so cool. Is that about everybody?
No, I'm just finishing it now.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, empathetic. Nurturing. Cool. That means we're on point. So, while we're talking about what kind of place we want to make this, let's give a big congratulations and celebrate the success of our peers, Kat and Steve Gore. Congratulations on your assignment to that WPL All-Star weekend. That's going to be awesome. When do you guys start games?
Tomorrow.
Cool. And then you go?
Saturday.
Okay. Awesome. And then also congratulations to Amelia Luciano because she was awarded another test match. She'll do in September. South Africa versus Scotland, if I'm not mistaken. So, congratulations.
That's awesome, Amelia. Congrats.
All right. I'm super excited for the season. My promise to you guys is that I will support this team to the greater rugby community. And I would ask you all as a group that any internal problems that we solve them here within our group and we don't air our dirty laundry to the world if we can help it. So we're trying new things. We need to be open to feedback and we need to be open to change. So super exciting. That is really all I have for you guys. Does anybody have questions?
Hi, Amanda. This is Lee.
Hello, Lee.
So, like, some of the stuff that MLR does at the beginning of the season, I'm not saying we have to do it, but maybe it's something we need to think about, is that they kind of try to come up with concise definitions at the beginning of the season of how they're going to address certain issues in the game or certain technicalities or certain trends, as opposed to playing like catch up to things that are happening. Is there a proactive way that we could do that as a group, or does the group think that's necessary, or how do we get in front of some of the technical things now?
So I sent out a big PowerPoint presentation earlier today, the guidelines for 2019.
Well, are we gonna talk? Are we gonna like talk about that together first, or you just want us to look at it and digest it?
So I would like it looked at and digested in the interest of saving time, because if we went through this thing, 37 slides at 2 minutes at least each slide, it's probably more like 4 or 5 minutes for some of the slides. It's going to take us a really long time. What I was planning to do is just whip through a couple of the sort of more important aspects of it, because honestly, not a lot has changed between how we ref last season, how we're going to ref this season, what's going on in the D1A. Like, I feel like this group of people is pretty on point with what's happening.
Okay.
So what I can do, though, is tell you a couple of things that I've noticed, trends across World Rugby that I wanted to bring to your attention, things I think that we're going to run into this season. All right, so this is sort of the key slide here. What do we want to be known for? Or what will we be known for as a group? And our weekly calls, we're going to be talking about agreed processes, and we'll especially be looking at where we're missing the mark. Everything that we should be doing, I think for the most part, is in these slides. The referee priorities, they haven't changed. They're straight from World Rugby. I think they're exactly the same as last year. One thing, if you're watching the games, especially the Women's Super Series, you might have noticed there were a lot of ball carrier not releasing or holding on calls. And after looking through the reports in AMS, a lot of those, not a lot of those, but maybe like 2 or 3 a game didn't need to be called that way. So this slide in particular, I would pay a lot of attention to, holding the defense to a high standard. Because to get the holding on call, the poacher's got to be pristine and the tackler needs to be out of the zone. Those are the 2 things we preached last season. And I think we did a pretty good job with it towards the end of the season. So let's see. One thing that's kind of happening a lot is the scrum half trying to get PKs. World Rugby's got a pretty low tolerance on that. It's going to be an awareness and we're going to run into it here and there probably because it's what's happening out on the circuit. The other big thing from the Super Series were the takeouts at the side of the ruck. Guys, it was really, really bad. It's not anything I've ever seen in women's rugby before. I would imagine we'll be seeing plenty of it in the WPL. It's the way the game's being played now. Feel free to chime in, guys, if you have anything to say.
It looks like they're approaching the breakdown with a shotgun and going wide of it and beyond it.
Yep. Yeah, sometimes you don't even see them coming because you're focused on the ball at the back and they're like 2 paces beside it and then sort of taking a player out behind it. It's really interesting. It's effective.
I think we found obviously some of the really egregious ones, and I think the part that we're going to have to focus on is kind of those 50-50 ones where, well, was there a defender close, and so I mean they're looking at the clip, it looks like a no-brainer.
Yep.
It's going to be on the ref to.
They're hard to see. They're hard to see live because you're focused on one thing and it's happening in another sort of space, and also you're not going to have ARs who are professional ARs. So the amount of times that it was missed at the Super Series, all we can do is have awareness going into it that we're probably going to see it. And when you catch it, ping it. So we'll see once we start getting our video in. Maybe I'm wrong. That'd be great. Go ahead.
Just one big picture thing I wanted to throw out there is this is a year out from a World Cup, and so the WPL is probably going to be pretty intense this year with people competing for spots. So we should expect to try to match their intensity and just not be surprised when, especially the first couple of games, we'll be dealing with that. So don't let it shock you, but the whole season, everybody's going to be trying to get Rob Kane's attention.
Yeah, that's a great point. The other thing I was going to say about the increase in holding on penalties is the poacher has just gotten exponentially better at their job in the last 2 years. So there's just going to be more of those, I think. This clarification on when the ball can be played at the breakdown, I think came out maybe 3 to 6 months ago, but there's some really good clips that World Rugby sent out and I put those in. But like I said, if you're following what comes out when it comes out, I think this hit sometime in the D1A. We had a big discussion about it, but it's there for you to review. This is a big one right here, back foot. If the ruck or maul moves forwards, then the defensive players have to move backwards to stay onside. So what's happening is the long ruck is occurring and they need to be stepping back, and they're not. So awareness to that.
Same thing's true at scrums. You got a
yes.
scrum and they're driving it. They watch that back line.
That's very true.
And I see that a lot in video.
Yeah.
Despite the reluctance of the videographer to pick up the back line.
Yeah. I don't know if there was more kicking in the Super Series. I just felt like there were a couple of more IFOCs in front of kickers than we normally see. So let's see. Is there anything else? I know there is. Yeah, the retreating players. happening a lot too. Let's see. Scrum, no surprises here. It's the same thing that was being preached. It's been like a year. It's been in existence at the MLR, and we use the same thing in D1A this year. Same idea. Make sure you're ticking your boxes.
And hey, Amanda, this is Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Kat and I want to go out and set a strong standard as far as making sure that there is that gap and no pre-engagement.
Right.
Those things, correct?
Yes, you do. And let's see, somewhere I wrote that down. Yeah, axial loading. So when they're leaning, warn them once, go to the free kick, and then upgrade it.
I think the other thing with scrums is just be aware that you can set everything up perfect, and as soon as they engage, they're very good at shifting the lines and the angle points by which pressure is applied. So we got to be diligent even after that engage has occurred.
Absolutely. So if you do observe something, but you're going to reset, make sure that you're giving a clear instruction so that then you can make an understandable decision at the next one. Let's see, lineouts and mauls. I don't think there's anything interesting there. Did see a lot of swimming actually in the Super Series. Foul play, make sure you're familiar with the new guidance and that big decision chart. If I were you, I would go ahead and, if you haven't already, think about your phrases, because it does change how you need to phrase things when you are sanctioning things. Here's the other thing we're seeing a lot of that I have not seen in women's rugby before is neck rolls. So they are notoriously hard for a single referee to see. But if you have awareness, you'll see get like a particular elbow angle for me by the person doing that torque. So if you cue on that. Lifting cleanouts, probably a little bit more of a hazard in the men's game. I haven't seen a lot of it. I did see one in the Super Series. Deliberate knock-ons, this is exactly the same guidance that we used last year. We were not consistent with it at the beginning of the season. By the end of the season, I think we were doing very, very, very well. And all of the team coaches, everybody expects this at this point. So that is that. As you have time to go through this, feel free, talk amongst yourselves, talk to your coach, send me anything, anytime. Okay, does anybody have anything?
I have a question about the advantage.
Mm-hmm.
This is Rosalind. So,
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, last year we had the coaches tagging the system in advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like this year the NCAA is going to be having the PRs do it. So who's
okay?
tagging?
So yeah, what we're going to end up doing is going to be a hybrid. So the referees, if you think over the course of the 10 weeks, the referees will have on average 5 games. 2 of those games are going to get a performance review. The other 3 games, the coach solely will be tagging. I did talk to Richard today because my question was, will we have the ability to have a PR and a coach comment in advantage? And the answer is no, it will be one or the other. So on your games that are PR'd, your discussion with your coach is for the coach to make comments to you. You're going to have to do it on a different format. So be that a spreadsheet. I find that's usually what I default to, is a spreadsheet with a column for time and a column for comments. Yeah. So let's be thinking about how we want to handle that.
Right. So we can get creative and see what works.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm sure, as usual with this group, someone will come up with something good and someone else will tweak it and make it better. So
cool. Thanks.
Sure thing. Anybody else have anything else?
Have you figured out the PR assignments yet?
I've figured out which games are being performance reviewed. I have not put PR's names beside those games yet.
Okay.
So no, but sort of yes. I'm proud of myself anyway. I can get that to you tomorrow, Peter. It's just really a matter of plugging people in. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think that it's all that big of a deal who goes where.
Okay. Yeah, and that is something for all of us to sort of think about, is how we interact with the PRs and what we want that to look like. I don't know, PRs, if you guys have thought about that or if you have preferences, but something to consider. Do you want a referee calling you? Do you want the referee to call me if they don't agree with something? What do we want that process to look like?
Well, I think it should be a discussion, just like we were doing when we were coaching last semester. I mean, granted, the PR is a little bit more black and white,
Mm-hmm.
but at the end of the day, it's a learning experience for everybody. And I think we have to have an open dialogue and open discussion on that.
Do you think a three-way call with the coach and the referee would be appropriate, or is that too many people?
It might be too many people, but I mean, heck, as you said, we're experimenting here. Why not try it?
Yeah, I guess
Could the coach talk to the PR first?
You could do that.
Talk to the coach first.
Yeah, I mean, maybe whatever the referee is comfortable with. I honestly don't have a preference how it works.
You know, think about it. At the end of the day, what the PR is doing is a little bit more black and white, a little bit more analytical. But at the end of the day, it's the same purpose of what the coach is doing. We're trying to help the referee.
Yep. Cool. Okay. Does anybody have anything else? All right. Go forth. Have a fantastic week and get those IPPs to your coach and to me by whatever date I said. I don't remember.
August 14th.
The 14th. Yep. Winning. Okay.
14, 2 weeks then?
Yep, 2 weeks. So, cool. Thank you, everybody. I'm really excited about the season. So,
are we gonna have a call next Wednesday, or is this just?
No, I don't think that we will need to. If we start getting a lot of questions about the guidelines, or if people have specific things that they want to talk about, you know,
okay,
we can do that.
Cool.
Yeah, as long as you and Steve don't mess up this weekend, we'll be fine.
Yes.
Total anarchy, man.
If we all watch those games and it's a disaster, we are definitely having a call. No. It'll be great. I know it'll be great because you guys are great. So have fun.
Thanks, Amanda.
Thanks, Amanda.
See you Friday, Amanda.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Bye.
Bye.
Good night.